let's talk about building your first app on Antigravity. Okay, now the next thing that we want to see here is the app itself being built. You open your Antigravity, you create your workspace, you set up the environment, and you're good to go. Remember, on the left side, this is where your files and your folder, this is where it's going to be stored. The middle section, this is where you can preview the files, you can see how your application actually behaves. Now on the right hand side, you're going to start interacting with your agent. Now on the right hand side, you can actually see different model that you can select you can choose from. This model includes Gemini model, and also there are some Claude model here also, and also a GPT model. The free users and Google AI Plus users, they receive the minimum base limit on Antigravity. So you can upgrade to the Google AI Pro, or you can even upgrade to a different plan. If you click on the view plan, you see the plan. But in our case, we don't want to do any of that. What we want to do is we simply want to interact with our agent, and we're going to see how the agent actually behaves. Now, I created a prompt which says create a responsive web app with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and include a custom countdown timer, start, pause, controls, and a visual progress ring. So let's click on enter. Let's see how Antigravity is going to do that. Now, what is it doing? Is exploring, is analyzing this our workspace here. Now, the first thing it did was it's going to try to implement. It's going to ask a question and it's going to implement it. The reason it's not asking us a question to review to do that was because when I set up my Antigravity, I gave it agentic permission, which means that the agent plan and decide and do everything yourself. I don't want to get involved. So this is the age of autonomy, right? Where you're giving free reign to the agent. And that is why, as you can see, it shows me the plan that, hey, this is what I'm about to do. Review it, check it out. And then I'm also going to go ahead and start implementing it. Why? Because you gave me the permission to do so. I did that already. I gave you the permission to do so when I was setting up my environment. Now, it says implementation plan. Responsive countdown web timer is going to build a state-of-the-art response timer application called Chrono Pulse. Chrono means time. Pulse that counts every time using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, the app features a custom progressive ring. It is going to have a start, pause, reset, control, sound alert, quick preset, focus mode, session tracking, and customizable theme, and a user review required. The app is going to be built with a pure standard vanilla web technologies, which is HTML5, vanilla CSS 3, ES6 Plus, and JavaScript. And the user browsers is a native web app audio API for custom sound chimes. So it says that there's no need for external media dependency failure. So it's going to operate 100% locally in the browser with local storage for saving the settings and the session history. And then you can also go ahead and start reading all the things that it's going to do. You can also put a comment around this implementation plan. If you disagree with some of the functionality, you can also include that here. Now here it says agent need permission to act on localhost. This wasn't the permission I gave it before, so I'm going to say always allow. So which is that always now you have permission to do the local browsing. If you were to create a browser context, now it's trying to use Python. Okay, so once you read through the implementation plan, it also creates a verification plan, and I believe it is done. Okay, now the next thing here is the app is running live on local server on this environment. The internal automated browser agent encounter a CDN driver issue, which is this issue for Mac ARM64 playwright binaries. Now, what I'm going to do is, since what I care about is the HTML file, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that. As you can see, on the left-hand side are the files that I was able to create. In the middle section is what is I can view the file, I can see the changes, the file that I actually create, the content of the file itself. I can see that here. And on the right hand side is my interaction with the agent. Now here, let's click on open browser. Let's actually open this file. Okay, so as you can see, it's going to ask me if I want to accept or if I want to reject. So let's continue to open our browser. Now, this is the app that our agent was able to create. Our agent created this application. If I click on start, let's just test it out. It says allow. You can see the countdown on the pause here, focus time. If I click on this, it's going to reset. If I click on start again, or if I click on this loop has been activated. If I disable the loop, also the settings, you can see the settings. Let me reduce this to 10 minutes. I'm going to reduce this to 10 minutes. Apply the timer. So as you can see, it's 10 minutes. If I click on start, you can see the name. And then also you can see the Pomodoro, you can see the short break. I have different presets here. And then also the meditation, the soft egg. You can actually see everything. Let me clear. Yep, cleared everything. Let's restart it again. Now, also, if I click on this is also just testing the functionality of what our agent was able to build. So the agent was able to build it. Now we're doing some testing. So as you can see, if I click on off, there is no sound. Right now, let's add some sound to it. Zen drone. I don't know if you can hear that, but I can actually hear that. Now let's change the sound. Sound plays. It's working. Deep ocean. And let's deep open. Also include this. You can do the sound. Also can the sound. And then let's turn it off. And then also notification. It's alarm sound. All these. There are different alarm sound. If I click on crystal chime. And then also this. You see that. And then also let's check out the classic bell. You can see you can hear the classic bell. Now also if I click on this, you can see it's basically the full screen. It's 100% focus, and it's as if you're meditating. You breathe in, you breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. That is the feeling that I'm getting from this. Okay, now let's close it. Now let's go back to this, and as you can see, implementation plan is able to give us a summary of everything that we need. And let's click on accept all, because this is everything that we need. But I want to say a but here. Let's also include a comment. In this comment, we're going to say that interactive web display ring. Let's include user to be able to switch between light and dark mode. Also ensure text are on the button. So let's include the comment. So now this comment has been added. Let's click on preview. We don't want to do that. Let's click on proceed. Now we've added a comment. So now you are interacting with the implementation plan. Any changes that need to be made is going to be on the implementation plan. You can actually see the context. You can see the history of what you're doing, and you can see the implementation happening on the right hand side. Now, once the app is done, let me click on refresh. The app is still working on this. Now let's see what is going to flesh out. So this is really impressive, the fact that you can manage an implementation plan, and whatever needs to be captured, it's being captured in the implementation plan, and think of the implementation plan as the source of truth. Okay, now we say we can preview the app. Let me refresh. Okay, interesting. Okay, you can preview the app. There's a lag, dark, or quick switcher. Okay, we do not want to use the local host. So what we want to, let me try the local host. Okay, this is the local host. Let me allow. Okay, so let me, okay, I think I found it. Let me allow this. Okay, this is what I was looking for. Now it was able to implement this, and you can see I can switch between different ports. I don't need to, okay, if I click on start, and this is how you, and this is how you can actually use your Antigravity agent to design or implement your application instructions. As you can see, it's able to generate an implementation plan, and the implementation plan it was able to create. It's able to, you're also able to add comments, and the comment that you add to it is implementing it on the right hand side. You can see the file changes on the in the middle section, and also on the left side you can actually see all the files that has been implemented and that it has changed over time. And you can see this is one. It means there's a file change that actually took place there. Now one thing that also does is you also have ability to open a browser in preview mode that you can actually how you can use. You can use that during your developmental stage, but I actually wanted to use Google Chrome since that is what I'm familiar with. But Antigravity has a browser that comes with it. So this is how you can instrument your Antigravity to build an application for you. Off record. Now I'm about to go into the next phase, which is setting up the rules for the Antigravity. Let me see. I think I have. Okay, on record. So now, another thing I also want to explain is I want to explain a couple of things that actually took place while we're building an application. Now, if you look at on this section here, you can actually see there are one, two, three, four icons here. The first icon talks about the file that were changed. I already accepted it after reviewing the file. The second section here talks about the terminal. That is what application is running in the terminal. You can actually see this are the reviews of the application that are running in the terminal, and this is what is running in the terminal, which is Python-m HTTP server port 8080, and that is how I was able to open this app in the localhost environment. And the other thing that is also interesting here is the artifact. This artifact, think of it as they are the file that the agent creates when you are interacting with it. So it helps to perform longer tasks and allow user to have high-level overview and feedback regarding the editor itself. The first one is the scratchpad. Now the scratchpad here it says that hey, the application name is called Chronopause. It's a web app verification plan. This is the verification plan of what we're trying to do. Now here it says that user should be able to navigate to localhost 8080 and verify initial rendering, the midnight dark neon theme, the SVG progress ring, including all these tasks that needs to be done. So this is more like a scratch pad of okay, these are the things I need to do. I need to test the timer start when I click. I need to test the timer's pauses. I also need to test the time adjustment. I need to test the preset. I need to test the theme switcher. And as you can see, these are the pause of the things that you need to test. Okay, now the next one here I want to talk about is implementation plan. Implementation plan is something that I've already explained before. We've all seen it. It's basically a source of truth kind of documentation that It helps you to plan your application step by step. It allows you to see what needs to be done, and also every single features that the application needs to have, including the proposed structure and also the enhancement structure. The verification plan also is also included in the implementation plan. Now, also in the walkthrough, the walkthrough is more like, okay, this is a walkthrough of the application, and these are the key feature. The SVG circular progress ring and timer readout, the dynamic visual progress, which we've seen, the big digital clock, the interactive quick adjustment line, which are basically all of these things. And you can see this pulse, like it's breathing in and out. Now, you can actually see all this interesting stuff that's goes into the application building. So this artifact is something that is, I would say, is actually one of the game changer within Antigravity. It allows you to have a deep insight about what the agent is doing, how the agent is thinking, and then also what are the things that influence the agent decision, which you can also tweak. You can also adjust to it by simply adding a comment to it, and the agent is seeing that, okay, this is a new comment that I just received by this person. Let me review it. Let me adjust what I did based on the comment that I received. So this is how this is how you see what is going on within the agent itself, and how Antigravity is actually thinking and implementing some of those changes. What other section here? Also here, you can also add a media, you can add mention, you can add specific action that you want, which is actions such as go. I want you to run until a particular goal has been met. Goals such as, this is good when you're trying to meet a particular let me say target, and okay, run until this has been achieved. Or for example, a user is able to receive is able to send a message directly from the timer when the timer gets to 30. Or you can also schedule an instruction that runs recurring. Think of this schedule as more of a cron job. And also grill me, basically interview me to align to a plan. So a conversation between you and the agent, where the agent asks you questions like, okay, what do you want me to do? Do you want this to be red? Do you want the color of the timer to be green? Do you want this to take place? How do you want this to be handled? More like a conversational conversation with the agent. And also learn, reflect on the recent success or the correction to capture reusable skills. So this is more like what has been done. How do you learn alongside with it, right? So these entire 4 items here are very good because it's giving a feeling of an actual team working on a particular project, where the project manager asks the stakeholder about hey, you want me to do XYZ? How do you want it to be done? Do you want the color to be red? What kind of functionality do you prefer? Also, these are the things that we need to meet. And the goal is more like a project manager that says, this is the bar that we need to meet. This is the goal, that this is what we need to achieve. So you guys need to make sure you get all of these things done until we're able to achieve the goal. And then the learning is more like, the more you implement stuff, the more you learn, and also there's this feedback between the application. And the schedule is more like, I want you to run this particular item every morning, run a particular task, or do a particular thing every morning. More like a cron job. And then here you can specify any model of your choice. You can also record audio to the agent, where you tell the agent what it needs to do and it's going to do it. And here obviously is the send key. Let me remove this. And then also you can give a thumbs up, good response, bad response, more like a feedback. And also you can copy the entire stuff there. Let's minimize this. And this is how you interact with your Antigravity agent through the IDE to be able to build a web application.